Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Acacia electric air pump. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link, it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So this is an electric air pump for things like a stand-up paddleboard, air mattress, or specifically the Space Acacia air floor. So this has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery in it. This could also be powered by 12 volts from a car, or you can plug it in to charge it. This has inflation and deflation functions, has a control panel to set the pressure, and you can also use this as a power bank. We have some notes on the other side. This third one here says do not use this for more than 30 minutes or it may overheat. So it shouldn't take 30 minutes to fill up an air mattress. But if someone wants to use this off-label, that's a good thing to point out. So let's get this open. So this comes in a little bag. It has a shoulder strap and a carry handle. Here we have the manual. Let's take a look at it. So this talks about all the different parts. So we have an inflation inlet, a deflation output, DC plug, pressure valve LCD screen, USB 1 amp, 2 amp charging port, charging input port, LED light button, pressure unit toggle button, on-off button, decompressing button, pressurized button, hose, air tap, charger, DC plug storage place, flexible conduit adapter, and LED light. So this can be used portably or connected to 12 volt DC source. Has a 2-level adjustment LED light, illumination, and the SOS emergency light. It supports USB charging. It has wire storage. It comes with 6 nozzles and 3 types of rubber rings suitable for inflating products such as paddleboards and kayaks. Has an intelligent pressure system, can be set from 0 to 16 psi. So here are the instructions for inflation. Select the correct nozzle, connect the nozzle to the end of the hose, press and hold the power button for 3 seconds to enter standby mode, enter the pressure on the control panel, press the power button to start inflation. When it reaches the set inflation value, it will shut off. After the inflation is complete, it will shut down the whole thing within 2 minutes. You have a similar procedure for deflation. So this comes with a power adapter and a built-in 6,000 milliamp hour battery. It takes 6 to 7 hours to fully charge. You can charge it or power it from a 12 volt socket also. Then we have some notes here, troubleshooting. Let's get this out. So it has a fold up handle. And here's storage on the top for the DC cord and the 120 volt power cord. Pull this film off. So on top here, we have openings for the USB charging and the 12 volt charging. So this is input, this is output. And these flip closed when you're not using them. Here we have 3 lights, and we have our inflate and deflate ports. On the back we have the power cord. On the bottom we have rubber feet, and here's the label. It says input is DC 12 volts at 110 watts. Look at the hose. So here are gaskets. Here's the hose. It's kind of a hard plastic. Since this will do deflating, you can't have a really soft plastic. And these are the different nozzles it comes with. So it comes with nozzles that lock onto certain systems, and others are just traditional inflation nozzles. So I can screw this into inflate over here. There we go. So let's get this thing charging. I'll get out the 120 volt cord. This outputs 13.8 volts at 1 amp. So I'll plug that into power. And I'll plug that into the input here. Okay, so the screen turned on, saying it's charging. So let me get zoomed in on it a little better. So we have a light button that will turn on the flashlight. So this has 2 modes. It has light mode and SOS mode. Then PSI bar will change the units. So we have PSI and bar, as the button says. Then we have plus minus for the PSI. So it goes up in half PSI increments. And then we have the power button. Now if I press the power button, it will turn on except for it's charging. It won't do that while it's charging. So I'm going to let this get charged up, and then we'll test it out by inflating the Space Acacia air floor. Okay, so here I'm out at the air floor. Let's get this inflated. So I'll attach the hose to the inflate side. I'll get the correct nozzle, so I'll open the valve, and if you forget which nozzle, the valve has a distinct shape that you can match up with the nozzle. So I'll screw that on here. I'll lock that into the valve. I'll turn the inflator on by holding down the power button, and I'll set this to 8 psi. And then I'll hit power to start it. Okay, so we got the main base inflated. Now I set it at 8 psi, but I dropped it down to 5. It seems plenty firm at 5. Now a neat thing about this inflator is it has a low and a high volume pump. So it uses that low volume pump to do the initial inflation. Then once it reaches the limits of that, it switches to a traditional air compressor. So that really speeds up the inflation. If it just used a traditional air compressor to do the whole thing, it would take a lot longer. So now we can do the ring, and we'll do that at 1 psi, and the inflator for it is over here. So this is completely open. I'll need to plug this. So now the check valve's installed, and I think I need this here, looks like. So I'll set this to 1 psi. That's not very firm. I'm going to take it up to 3. That made easy work of filling up this Space Acacia airfloor. So now we can see the airfloor completely inflated. So I demonstrated inflating it, now let's demonstrate deflating it. I'll unscrew the airfloor, and then you press down on this to deflate. On this one, we'll remove both caps. So I pulled this cap out, and then I'm going to pull this one out. So along with inflating, this can deflate. So we'll switch over to the deflate mode. We'll put the connector on. We'll screw it in. We'll turn this on. And we'll press power to start deflating. So it's exhausting the air out here. Okay, so I think I have all the air out of there. So that was the Acacia air pump. I really like the features of this. It has the low and high pressure modes. So when it was filling this up, it used the low pressure mode to pump a lot of air in there quickly. And then when it reached the limit of that style of blower, it switched to a traditional compressor to top it off. So that's going to give you quicker inflation and better battery life out of the compressor. Now it can take a few minutes for it to inflate, but the nice thing is you just set the PSI, you hook it up and you walk away, and you can do other things like set up your tent. So you don't have to babysit it. Now when it deflates, you do have to turn it off after it's done deflating. So I use this with the Space Acacia airfloor, but you could use this with traditional air mattresses or stand-up paddle boards. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.